Let's get started. I think this has been a very interesting topic and very demanding topic um, to speak about and as well as to learn. What is full stack development and how to become one. Hmm. So all of you, right, if, have been graduated from reputed colleges and then also joining, are pursuing your masters. Um, to make progression in your career, right? So to join a better job or to start your own venture, uh, it is essential that we need to know what is a full stack developer and what is full stack development all about. First, let us understand what is full stack development. right? What is it? Is it something new that has come up, or is this a old wine in a new bottle? What is it all about? So let's understand the full stack development as such first, and then let's deep dive into what is to become one. What is that we need to know in order to become one full stack developer. So all of you, right? So I think first you join this Telegram group. So getting to what is the typical software architecture? Okay, let me ask you this basic question, right? So you woke up today, right? Or you have spent your day. So whether you logged in into desktop or laptop or not, I'm sure you have used your phone, right? And what are the list of three applications, that is three apps that you have used, right? So let's just name it for yourselves. So this is where how you understand your, what is full stack development. What are the apps that you have used? Maybe I would take the liberty to ask Shravani, what is the app that you have used the most since you got up? Yeah, you can unmute yourself and then speak. Uh, is it WhatsApp? Is it Telegram? Or is it phone? What is that you have used? Um,
I have used WhatsApp from
WhatsApp,
morning. Yeah.
right? Right. So Anila, what about you?
I have used the Google Chrome and also WhatsApp.
WhatsApp. And Vignan, is it the same with you too?
No, I was listening to songs.
Sorry, what was that?
I was listening to
Songs.
songs.
Okay, Spotify maybe, or
Yeah,
Ghana, right?
yeah,
Right. So
Spotify.
Spotify. Good. So
Yeah.
I too have Spotify on my desktop, which I'll share my entire screen so that I can be transparent of what it is. So this is it's opening up. This is the Spotify screen, right? Home screen. You can all see that. So this is, in other words, what we call, this is the interface, isn't it? This is the interface. But is the interface everything? No. So is it like it's, if you say that interface is everything, then it's like your dress that you wear is you, isn't it? The dress you wear is you. How funny it is if you say, right? So your dress is not you. Your attire is not you. It is just your attire. Agree with that? So that's the user interface part of it, right? So Spotify has this user interface and this navigation, all this. So I can scroll it down, scroll it up. I can, run the player here, and I can see the play it on a different devices, volume control, play next, play previous, shuffle, queue, whatnot. And I can search. There is a search bar here, and you can also see my favorite libraries, podcasts, all that. This is what it's like, your dress, your attire, user interface. So some apps look good, some apps give you very good interface, some apps don't give you good interface. It's just like some dresses suits you well, some dresses don't suit you well. People compliment you on one day saying that, you look amazing on this dress. Just like this interface, this app's interface is so good, isn't it? So now this is a music player. If you take Ghana as another application, right? So that has a different interface. Now this is one part of it. Now, when I say one song, when I play this one particular song, where is it being played from? Right? Where is it being stored? Where is it coming from? So it must have a persistent storage. Agree? So when I say persistent storage, this one on the screen, what you see in the presentation, this one. So what is the data store? Right? You should have it stored somewhere. You all agree with that, right? So when you say you again, let's go to the example of your knowledge. So if you ask, okay, what is your name, right? So what speaks is your mouth, but it doesn't mean that your mouth knows what your name is. It is stored in your brain, so some storage cells, neuron cells. Now that is like your database. Everybody follows this, or is it too basic, right? So still, if it is too basic, this helps you open up some of the thought processes that you have. So your data should always be persistent. Is it every data should be persistent? No. So we'll come to that little later. So now it is your data should be persistent, right? So your name that is stored in your brain neurons is persistent layer on tier 3. So, and now when it comes to presentation layer, what we have just seen as a Spotify app, right? So this is the presentation layer. Okay, there is a button to play, there is a button to pause, there is a button to volume control, couple of things. So this is it. Now, what is this part? What is this part? So when I play shuffle, right? So there is something to be happening there. Now, if I have this, list of songs, right? If I just go here, these are the list of the songs. Now, if I play shuffle, what's happening? If I enable this shuffle, what is happening? Something should happen, right? So there is some activity that is happening. That is all this. So this album, entire playlist, let's say it has 100 songs, 100 tracks in it. Now, if you click on shuffle, what's happening? So there is an algorithm that kicks in and randomly chooses. Even that randomness has a method to it, right? So it first plays this and then goes and plays 7th song or 12th song. There is an algorithm behind it. You all getting it? So there is an algorithm behind it. So just clicking on your user interface of shuffle button takes you, runs your algorithm, and then it goes and fetches from your database, and then accordingly you listen that. So it says first, okay, this track, right? So this track is being clicked here, and your algorithm knows that, okay, this user has enabled the shuffle, and then let's say in that shuffling algorithm, this particular track is being chosen, then it goes to the database, picks it up, and then plays it back. Who is playing? Not the interface is playing, right? Interface is just interface to make you control. But what is playing is not your interface. Yeah, you need an output device, you need speakers to listen to that, but who is playing it? You get my question? It looks very simple, very easy, but see, that's where the confusion is. It's playing. Who is playing that? And also you have option. I mean, these are all musical tracks, so you don't see the lyrics, but some of the songs have lyrics too, right? So seeing the lyrics, reading the lyrics is interface, but who is getting you that? Where is it stored? That core algorithms or the business logic is in this part. You get that? So in the business logic layer, you have the complete logic of what to do, how to do is being written here. And this part, as you have seen and understood, it's the presentation layer. And this one, yes, this is the storage. This is the storage. If I have to relate with another simplified example, right, a person, and we have brain which has neurons to store, and then you have intelligence that process the logic, and you have your mouth, hands, and 5 senses to express what you want to express, right? So this is our human anatomy, human body, how it represents. Now you might say, you might listen, so somebody, unfortunately met with an accident and then he went into coma. What happens? He can't speak, he can't respond, right? He can't process any logic. But this one, you're not sure. Let's say after a couple of days or months, he comes back, he would slowly recollect what is there in the persistent layer. And then he would be able to speak slowly. And again, over a period of time, then he would actually make logics, understand, makes relations, and then the life goes as is. So in order your application to work, you need all three layers to be coherent, all three layers to be, working properly in sync. Well, so the next slide is about your role. Right? So typically, those who are good at programming, those who are hired for uh, the tier 1 presentation layer development, they are called front-end developers, right? And there is a role only to design. So you don't necessarily go and develop it, but you would only go ahead and design the aspects of it, design the user interface system, which button should go where and what should interact with the other, how do we create the playlists in the Spotify example. So the design part of it. Now, before the actual implementation, there is a design layout for it, right? So, okay, so the recent songs that Venky has played should appear here, his albums and playlists. And see, what he has recently played should appear here, and it goes on, right? Who decided that? The UX designer, the user experience designer, right? There is a role for that. And then there is a UI developer. So they fall under this category. Now, who writes the core logic? So, okay, I am only responsible for UI. And now who writes the core logic, the algorithm that we were talking about? Who implements that? And who implements when your user selects shuffle? How should it shuffle? What is the algorithm? What is the method to shuffle it? Who writes that? This is where several roles come into picture. Software engineer, right? A quality engineer, release engineer, software designer, software architect. Many people fall under this category. That is your application developer. And then, right, so you should store your data. So it is typically the architect and designers, like subject matter experts with relation to databases, they define the schema. I hope everyone understands what schema is. So they define the schema. Schema is the structure of your data. How should it be stored? Should the song lyrics be stored in its native language? Should it be stored as is, like characters in ANSI? What about if the song that is being played is Japanese, which is a Unicode character? What if the song that is being played is Chinese, which is a Unicode character? Should they be stored as is, or should you compress and store them? So all that, the schema designing and the effective performance tuning or error handling about your data should all be done by your database or SQL developers and architects. These are the three roles that you would see from the domain point of view, very prominent today, right? Whoever has passed out, so they join as a one of these or in this domain. So there might be different names in this area. So you have UX designer, right? As I said, UI developer or UI engineer. And then you have here, there are several roles here, and there are several roles here. Data analyst. Okay? So as well as data administrator, SQL developer. So there are different roles in this. So which one are you good at? Then the next question comes. So before we go there, I just want to pick it up here. Who is a full stack developer? Now you should be able to understand. So it should make your understanding easier now. Who is full stack developer? So if you want to be a full stack developer, it's not easy, guys. Let me tell you. It's not easy. And I don't say that it is difficult either. What it needs is what we will see. It's not easy for sure, and it's not difficult either. So you are the one, as a full stack developer, you code UI, you code business logic, and you code your databases as well. So this, in very simple words, did it make it clear? The one with 3 hats. You work as front-end developer, you work as application developer, you work as a database developer. Yeah, therefore, full stack developers demand is high, because as an employer, right, I don't need to hire 3 different people. I can just hire, Mahadev and then get my job done. And I pay 2 people's salary to him instead of paying it to 3 people. That's where full stack developers are being paid high, because of the skill set, wide variety of skill set they possess, wide variety of programming knowledge they have. You get it? So that's a full stack developer in very simple terms, I would say. Good. So let's move on. Now, what happens in a typical client server application? I'm slowly moving the gears, right? So now we only talked about app so far. We didn't talk about anything about what is client and what is server. We were only talking about UI layer and business layer and data layer. Now I'm bringing in one more aspect of what is client and server, right? So whether I'm playing Spotify here, or I'm opening WhatsApp or Telegram here, right? The service that is being given to me is not running on my desktop, on my PC. These days, everything is a web application. Except, I think on here, whatever you see, except this folder application, that is Windows Explorer application, right? And this terminal, right? This putty and this command line. Rest everything and Notepad++, right? Everything else connects to web and fetches data, including Notepad++. Everything connects to web. So what do I mean when everything connects to web? So that means there is a server. There is a server sitting somewhere and you are being served. Isn't it? So it's, I mean, again, I take another example. You go to a restaurant, right? Your favorite restaurant for lunch or dinner. You don't go to kitchen, right? To eat inside the restaurant. You sit in a nice dining area and then somebody else serves you. Doesn't mean that, okay, we go into the kitchen, it's a nice restaurant, great food, let's get into the kitchen and eat. No, we don't do that. That is your client server application. So you are the client for them, isn't it? For a restaurant, you are the client, you are the customer. Now they are the servers. They serve you. They serve you. So just like that, your web application development includes a client application and a server application. And server application includes these 2 parts. When you are developing server application, you need to focus on your tier 2, that is business layer, and tier 3, data layer. And as a client, so you develop a UI. So every client service, client server application involves in this. So it's a big subject on its own. Now, for your understanding of what is a full stack developer, you must know what is a client app and what is a server app. So client app, right? So you sit in a dining restaurant and then you go through the menu. That means you have some ability to understand what is written on the menu. And then as the one who comes to take your orders, he'll come and ask you to give your order, right? Place an order. Then you read, you want A, you want B, you want C. So you know how to speak, you know how to order. And just before ordering, you know how much you can eat and you know how much you want to pay for it. So there is a lot of process happening even as a client at your end, isn't it? Exactly the same thing happens at the client application. Client applications are not dummy, right? So it's I go to a restaurant, I can't simply go sit there and can I be served? No, I have to have a good amount of knowledge. I have to have a good amount of processing power to myself And I have to have my own resources, like I have to have my wallet with money. Only then I can place it. So your client application should have your own processing speed. The client application that you have developed, what is the process it needs to run? What is the memory that it needs to run? Right? Can it run on a phone? Can it run on desktop? Can it run on Apple? Right? So you go to a 5-star restaurant. Can you afford that? You go to a 3-star restaurant. Can you afford that? So which is like that. So can it run your application? Can it run on a 2 GB machine? Is it affordable? So that's where you as a full stack developer need to decide on several things like this. Client application. Okay, I want to write it's HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Done. Easy peasy, right? Server application. I'll take Java, I'll take Ruby on Rails, or I take many other languages. It's easy, I know it. Databases. I know SQL Server, I know MySQL, I know PostgreSQL, I know Graph database, Neo4j. So as every restaurant, why is not every restaurant is famous for its food? Everybody has the same ingredients, right? All the restaurants have the same ingredients. Every database stores the data in tables. All relational databases stores the data in tables. And why do we have PostgreSQL? Why do we have MySQL? As a full stack developer, you should know the difference and distinction among them. As a client application developer, you are also a client application developer. Okay, then you should know which framework to use. What is extensible? What makes the better performance? So the moment I open Spotify and just play, it doesn't take much time. It's instantaneous. But some of the play apps I have seen, after you click, I will go and check a couple of times, okay, if my speaker's volume is low or not. Because it doesn't start playing instantly. So that means your client app, whoever has developed, did not do a good job. Right? So as a client application developer, you should know several frameworks. And then as a server application, you should know one particular programming language and as well as several patterns. And then as a database developer, you should also know how to create schemas, how to create extensible schemas, what matters when it comes to performance, what matters if there is a huge data that you have to store. Right? So this, as a client server applications, every full stack developer should have an end-to-end understanding. Now, these are the client technologies, but before I come there, I want to talk about this. What makes you think like a full stack developer? Right? What is that you should start thinking about? Now, hopefully you have got a fair idea. Now onwards, whatever the application you open it on your phone, divide it into 3 parts for a simpler understanding. So that's where how you start thinking like a full stack developer. Okay, what is UI? What is business logic? What is database? You WhatsApp, right? WhatsApp, what you see is an interface. When you say, hey, hello, Maddie, and send, only the send button is interface. After I press on it, after I tap on it, what happens is not user interface. What happens is the business logic. That the data getting transferred to Maddie is the business logic. And then after 2 days, what did I tell Maddie about that? Okay, let me go back and see into the chat. So I'm looking at the history. What have happened 2 days ago, I'm able to see it now. So that means that data is stored somewhere. Therefore, I'm able to see it. So how should I store effectively such that the user can search faster? You are getting it, right? So your WhatsApp has all these 3 layers, and you, being a full stack developer, should have an end-to-end visualization of your application. Any application you use on your phone today, I would want you to think in the similar way. Okay, what is there? What is the client application? What is the client part of it? What is the user interface part here? What is the business logic here? And what is the data layer? Yeah, you might think, well, WhatsApp, what is the business layer? I can just go through the history and see. Where is it coming from? A database. Millions of users, they have hundreds of thousands of chats. Everything is coming on, being loaded onto your WhatsApp. So you might see the recent history very quick. But if you go back and search after 2 months back history, so it takes time to load because your phone holds certain amount of history. So who decides that? Client should hold the recent history. That's your application part of it, application development, the client application. So there is some amount of processing as in a client, right? And then a customer is coming to you and asking you to develop one particular application. He explains his scenario. He doesn't actually explain what is the problem sometimes. He just tells, hey, okay, I want this to happen. Then you as a full stack developer should be able to build the scenario for him. Oh, okay, Mr. Customer. Now you are coming first, you are getting into the application. What do you want to see as soon as you get in? What is the most prominent thing? Okay, my application is all about searching. So I don't want to see anything other than the search bar. Okay, now you start to playing the role. Okay, search bar. So the only user interface for him as soon as he logs in is the search bar. And once the search bar is open, what happens next? You type, right? So when you type it, then you ask him sequence of questions as a full stack developer, right? Maybe you don't speak to customer as a full stack developer, but you speak to your product manager. When you get into the job, you speak to your product owner, you speak to your subject matter expert, or you speak to your architect. You as a full stack developer would ask him or her about these questions. Okay, what happens after that? Yeah, okay, I type it, and then the results. How do you get the results? Again, we're only still the interface part, right? How do you show the results? Do you want to show the results in text format? Do you want to show the results in a list format, or in a tab format, or in a tiles format? For the text results, it's a different matter. For the images, different representation. This is all about your UI. And then, okay, what the search word goes to the business logic. What is your algorithm that is getting it so fast? And how did you store your data in the database such that your business layer is able to fetch very fast? See, if you see this diagram, why do we have data access layer here? Why do we have data access layer here? Because this and this make your data access faster or slower. How you develop this is all about it. If you write select star, select star from employee table, you know how much amount of time it takes. If you have 5 employees, it's very quick. So you're okay. Hey, I'm a full stack developer. I wrote UI, I wrote business logic, a simple algorithm. I also wrote SQL star from employees table. Good. After 1 year, the employee size went to 50,000. Now get it? So you have to type it and go get a coffee, then you will see the results. Is that what you want to be as full stack developer? No. Right? So that's where you go ahead and then build the entire scenario. Problem solving skills. Any software engineer, right? Whether it is QA, whether it is developer, whether it is release engineer, whether it is DevOps engineer, any role in software engineer, I think you are into the software industry because of your problem solving skills. Without this, I don't think you would have come to this place wherever you are today. So you do have these problem solving skills. As a full stack developer, you keep on improving them every time. You keep on improving them every time. One difference between a full stack developer and one specialized developer, one language, one domain specialized developer, is they're typically good at one programming language. Like my favorite and my good is C++. Right? And Madis is, as far as I remember, like C#. The first one that comes to him. So like many people here, you have some favorite language, but when you want to be a full stack developer, no, not one, not one. You should have the entire stack. So what is stack? Right, full stack. Now this was the stack, right? So what is that? This is the stack. We had 3 layers of in the stack. So you should know all these languages needed for UI, all the languages needed for business and the data. So therefore, you are called full stack. Otherwise, oh, okay, I'm a C++ developer, so I best suit in the business logic. Right? I'm a JavaScript developer, so I'm best suitable in UI. So you're not, there is no stack for me. I'm only one layer, that's all I'm specialized in, like this. I'm not a full stack developer. I'm only front end developer. I'm only application developer. When it comes, okay, this is a stack. It made a stack now. 1, 2, 3. One above the other. It's a stack, right? That's what it is, a stack. So first in, last in, first out. Right? That's what we call a stack. So now you are a full stack developer. Now you should relate what is the term means, right? So the problem solving skills, multiple programming language skills. This is where it comes in: a JavaScript, a business logic, and a database. What's your favorite database? Can you write, SQL commands, stored procedures? Then above that, okay, what is your favorite business logic layer? Is it Java, right? Is it Go? Anything, whatever works. And then above, what is your JavaScript? You should know HTML, you should know CSS for static pages. But for a dynamic, yeah, you should know either AngularJS, right, or React.js. So all those 3 layers, 3 languages, at least 3 languages you should be knowing. HTML, CSS, XML, these are not considered languages. They are like every software engineer should know. Right? And a continuous knowledge upgrade and practice projects development. This is what makes you a full stack developer. Okay, so I would pause here and then I want to take any questions. So maybe we'll finish this slide also. Learn top-down approach or bottom-up approach. How do you start, right? You're just starting your masters. So this is a good time to be very busy. Do your projects, do your assignments. Make sure if you want to be a full stack developer, yes, you will be paid high, no doubt about it. You will also have a good amount of knowledge. You begin UI layer, you begin business layer, and you begin database or AngularJS, Rail, PostgreSQL. Any combination of one set, one stack of a full stack programming languages set you can learn. Now, what are they? See this from client technologies. You can choose. You should have, as I said, HTML, CSS. You must have, and then you have the different frameworks, different flavors of JavaScript, different frameworks of front ends. You can choose from this and just go deep into it. Server side, right? You can say start from PHP, ASP, C++, C Sharp, Java, Python, blah, 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 blah. This is only part of the list, okay? There are so many languages that you can be mastered. So server side, we have included database as well here, because to simplify, server includes business logic and database as I have described earlier.
Still a backend developer. I'm not a full stack developer. One question I got is actually in the middle of the session is that how long does it take if I am very new to all the 3 layers to become a full stack developer as a beginner?
Okay.
I think I bet this question is for everybody. I'm just asking on behalf of all of us.
Sure. Very good.
And this question is asked by my wife, and she is also a listener of the session. So
Good. Yeah. So that all depends on your problem solving skills, I would say. Okay. Yeah, you might not like the answer, but what is your current problem solving ability?
I would say beginner.
Right, so yeah.
I
So
can
you should
take.
always,
I can understand.
I'm not, asking you the question, but you should assess yourself. What is your problem solving ability? How good are you at problem solving? So 1 to 10, where do you rate yourself? This relates to the time it takes to be a full stack developer. right? So you understand technologies very well, very quick. Okay, so let me answer this in a slightly different way. The moment you look at, let's say C++ is there, Java is there, Python is there, Ruby is there, Go is there, Rust is there. There are so many languages. As a problem solver, you should know why are there so many languages, right? So then you go and ask yourself, okay, then you start searching for it. Then you would find out, okay, these languages are only representation of what I want to convey, right? So what I want to convey, I want to convey something to the processor, something to the memory. I want to know, I want to allocate this much of memory as I want it. So then I would choose C++ because I can demand for memory. Oh no, I don't want to really, go into the memory part. I want to deal with only the automatically the system to take care of, memory deletion or memory allocation part as much as I want. Then you would typically go for Java kind of languages. Right? Okay, I still want the capability like C++, and yet I want to develop very fast applications like the way we develop it in Java. Then I might go for Rust or Go. So that means you have a paradigm for each programming language. So there is a general programming languages, right? There are imperative languages, there are declarative languages, there are functional programming languages. So what each one is? So there you will find your next question. Okay, it's not that language I want to solve, it is what domain I want to solve. Should I, do I really want to solve a system level application problem? Right? So am I solving an embedded problem, or am I solving a system level application problem, or am I solving a user interface problem? So the questioning that you ask to yourself about each technology, right? So that helps you learn faster or slower. Now, to answer it in a simpler way, right? For JavaScript to learn any language, you need only 21 days. JavaScript, 21 days, Java, 21 days, and then database, 21 days. So 63 days, you can start coding. But would you master it? No. The mastery comes only with the practice. Only with the practice. No one could ever become master in 63 days. So you dedicate 3 weeks for each layer, you will be acquainted with it. You can learn JavaScript easily. You can learn, Java or Ruby and Rails or Go or Python in 21 days. Database, yeah, you don't need 21 days either. So if you want to allocate 3 months to be a full stack, not to be a full stack developer, to start to become a full stack developer. Then after learning all these technologies, right, then you start taking up the projects, open source projects, contribute to them, or build your own small projects. Then you would love yourself by being knowing end-to-end scenario. So I think long answer, but I hope that was helpful.
No, you answered many of my the next questions. Thank you, Venky.
Yeah.
I want to improve my problem solving skills. So how could I start it? And I was a beginner, so I want a path, or how can I follow the systematic way of solving the problems, like any sequential approach or any other approaches which you suggest for me?
Very good question, Anila. I think that's where every student should ask this question to themselves. Actually, I appreciate you, first of all, to identify that you need to improve on your problem solving skills. That's the first step you have climbed. That one should know, okay, I need to improve my problem solving skills, right? So I'll tell you a small story. So it's my own sister. She was a biotechnology graduate, postgraduate. And then for some reasons, like she traveled and then children, kids. Then she got some time now. She said, Anaya, anyway, I'm a biotechnology student. I want to get back. What is the language you suggest? I said, whatever the libraries there are more is in Python for biotechnology also. So you start learning Python. One line answer, right? Easy for me. I said, okay, Python. Okay. She said, okay, Anaya, I'll learn Python from tomorrow. After 1 week, she called again. She said, I read a website about Python writing a first program. I understand it. I go write it. Then she said, yeah, okay, they gave me a problem to solve, print Fibonacci series. Again, still, when I read it, I understand the problem. I understand the solution that they are explaining. But when I want to solve it on my own, I'm not able to do it. That's a very first step of problem solving. You are stuck at the problem solving. That is the indication. And okay, when you read it, you understand. You watch YouTube, you understand. This guy is explaining nice. Okay, good. Go and code it. No, it's stuck. Your mind's stuck. You can't move forward other than writing main method. So there, what is troubling you is the problem solving, ability to solve problems. So there are 3 steps I would typically tell everybody. Sharwani, who is listening to, who has been with me from last 6 months or more, she knows how many times does he speak the same. Yeah. I do. Unfortunately, there is no shortcut to problem solving. It is just like the other day I was telling somebody, okay, how do I learn swimming? Maddie says, hey, Venky, can you suggest me a good book on problem solving? On swimming. Then okay, I suggested a book. And then after 1 week, can you suggest me a good YouTube channel to learn swimming? Okay, suggested it. After 3 weeks, after 1 month, I asked him, did you learn swimming? No, I'm still reading. So then what should you do? Maddie's wife should just take him to the swimming pool and kick him into the pool. Right? So that is what makes you learn. No, not books, not YouTube channels, or not great talks by great swimmers. So the very first thing, Anila, for problem solving is take problems and solve them. Small problems to big problems. So in our site also, esdevelopers.io, there is a section called code. Okay. So where you have varied problems, but these might be little advanced if you have not practiced before. So I will anyway give you a list of questions, around 200 questions we have in our repository. So I'll share those. What you can do is you can start solving one by one. So it's just like swimming. Problem solving is like swimming. So you start arithmetic. Take basic arithmetic problems, solve them. If you feel too basic about them, then directly jump into problems. Okay, how do I print a prime number? Like, how do I check if the given number is a prime Fibonacci series? And then you are given a 10 integers, and then you are asked to find the 2 digits in this series that will sum up to 10. That is 2 number sum. Then 3 number sum. Right? These are numeric problems. Then string problems. Okay, how do I reverse a string? How do I check if it is a palindrome or not? How do I check how many vowels are there in the string? Right? So likewise, you say there are set of problems that will take you from beginner to intermediate to advanced. Any language you choose, doesn't matter. So language comes much later. First take the problem, solve it on pen and paper. Solve it on pen and paper. Only then you jump onto the program. Many people today, what they are doing is like directly jump into the editor, start typing the solution. No. You will be disappointed. Solve it on pen and paper and then go. So first learn arithmetic, right? Basic arithmetic operations, then start solving basic problems, then intermediate problems. You would start appreciating yourself as you start. Don't look at the solution. Even if one particular problem, you are not able to get a solution for 2 days, 3 days, it's okay. Keep trying. Keep trying on your own. If you want hints, you ask Maddie or you ask me or you ask your sister. Hints, only hints. Don't look at the solution. Anybody here, if you look into the solution and think that you got it, it's like swimming. The book says Okay, first swing the left arm, then right arm. Oh yeah, I got it. Only you will know when you get into the water. So that's the method. Arithmetic, learning arithmetic, and then start to solve the problems on your own without looking into the solution on pen and on paper, not directly coding. Coding later.